Ryan Ignoffo here is joining us on Long Tossin. First of all, dude, thank you for carving out some time. Congratulations on the MVP, Steven Strom, Kyle Seeloff, of course. Man, what's been this season like for you? You were drafted as a two-way guy. Just kind of lay it out for us.
Yeah, it was it was fun. It was a lot of learning, a lot of new things that I learned about myself and defensively especially. Going into spring training, I didn't really know what to expect because, like you said, I was a two-way player as I was taken in the draft, and I thought I was going to be doing a little bit of pitching, and I got a call from Hector one day saying, how would you like to catch? So, yeah, I took on the challenge. What
was the initial reaction when he said that? Were you like, catch?
Yeah, exactly. I really didn't know what to think because I thought my catching days were over in Little League. Throughout college, I played a lot of outfield and a little bit of corner infield, third base. So when he asked me to catch, it was like an eye-opening, opportunity because it was one of those positions I never really got to, practice or play.
Sure.
It freshened things up for sure.
Did he tell you why? Did you profile as a catcher? What was the reasoning behind asking you to make the change?
I think just the way I am, like physically, I think that was just the best place to project me. For the long term with the way I can hit. I think just the way I can hit can carry me a long way, and if I can figure out catching, it'll be a fast track to the big leagues.
Ryan, if you go back to your college days at Eastern Illinois, there's actually been some really good big leaguers that have come out of there, but you were drafted in the 20th round. Obviously, it feels like a lot of guys drafted in later rounds immediately get put behind the 8 ball, and you've got to work hard kind of for everything that you get. How did you settle on Eastern Illinois, and did you anticipate coming out of college that you would be drafted?
Yeah, playing baseball my whole life, getting drafted was obviously the goal, and I never really thought anything else that would have happened. I went to Eastern Illinois for 5 years. I worked my butt off, played summer ball every single summer, and got an opportunity when the Marlins called me in the 20th round, and I took that. And
was that the last round of the draft?
Yeah.
Was it 20th? Because it was obviously used to be more.
Yeah, last round. So when they took me, that's just something I kind of take with me on the field every day, being one of those last picks in the draft, and just take that to heart and show them that, I'm worth more than the 20th round pick.
Who's been the biggest influence in your baseball career? I'd like to go back even when you were younger.
Let's do that.
Why'd you fall in love with baseball? Who's been most influential to you? Who do you seek out for advice these days type of deal?
Man, I think I just always loved the game. I have an older brother who's 2 years older than me, and I've always wanted to play with him and all of his buddies because those were my buddies when I grew up, and I'd hang out with him. I think he kind of pushed me to get going in it early, and I was always playing with guys older than me. And I knew I had to step up because I didn't want to be the little brother playing with the big brother and not performing. So I think that's when I really fell in love with the game.
What other sports did you play?
I played football growing up.
So,
I knew you look like
you a fullback.
I was a running back, a safety, a little bit of nose guard. Yeah, a little bit of nose guard.
Guys like him were the reason I never wanted to play football. You just look like you'd run someone over.
But you do also profile as a catcher. I could see why they had asked you your interest level in it. How hard has it been to adjust to it?
I think at first in early camp and spring training, it was definitely the biggest adjustment I've ever had in baseball. I felt like I was always a guy who I can watch some film and kind of pick things up just because I have really good body awareness and control. But catching is just one of those things that I'm starting to realize very, very quickly it's one of the hardest positions to play in baseball. Now that I'm catching, the best pitchers arguably in the world, and you got guys like Thomas White, Noble Meyer, Josh Eknes who are throwing the heck out of the ball. It's been just a really, really eye-opening opportunity and a huge adjustment to just try to slow the game down.
What do you think clicked offensively for you this year?
I've gotten that question quite a bit, and I think honestly for me it's always just been go up there knowing who I am and trusting my hands. I always mention trusting my hands because I can always get in different awkward positions based on how I'm getting pitched, but my hands just always end up in the same spot, and I just trust them and going up there and knowing I'm going to go barrel ball.
I ask everybody this because I enjoy asking it. I'll ask you to talk about yourself for a minute. I know it could be a little uncomfortable, but you've always hit. Even in college, over 5 years, you hit like 350. You've obviously had a terrific start to your professional career. Take me back to when you were younger. Did you start to realize at a certain point were you playing an age or two up and you were still like beating them at that level that you were like, oh, like I'm good at this and I'm going to pursue it?
Yeah, definitely. I think after like the first year playing, once I started playing with my older brother, I started realizing that I was picking things up a lot quicker than a lot of the guys who were 2, 3, 4 years older than me. And honestly, I kind of have that to thank to my brother, because we had such a good group of like neighborhood kids. We played a ton of wiffle ball or blitz ball or throwing a tennis ball and seeing who can hit it the hardest or the farthest. And I was always swinging something, trying to hit something. So I think that really helped me out.
Just there's been so much turnover with the organization, and there's a lot of young talent everywhere across the minors. Just anyone in particular that you played with this year that you thought, this guy, we could see him be promoted pretty quickly?
Yeah, he's here today, Thomas White. I think he's one of those guys who just showed up being a 19-year-old kid and just absolutely dominating with the stuff he has, and you can tell just the way he goes about his day-to-day, and he's in the training room stretching, taking care of his body exceptionally well, and just his IQ for the game of baseball is just well above his years, and I always tell people he could be a guy who could easily play 10 years in the big leagues.
And you're 24, you're around there. Are you like a leader? I mean, you're kind of older for wherever you are, right? I mean, you played 5 years in college.
Yeah, I try to take the guys under my wing as much as I can. I have a lot more baseball experience, although we have the same experience at the level of professional baseball. I've seen a lot of guys, go through the ups and downs, and I've gone through it too with injuries and going through slumps. So I try to just talk guys through what they're going through and just try to slow it down for them as much as possible.
What was Eastern Illinois like? How was college? Did you stay out of trouble?
I loved it. Yeah, I was never in trouble.
Good.
I was never in trouble. No, 5 years there, I loved Charleston, Illinois, and Jason Anderson gave me a home to call home forever, and I still.
Anybody
go back
else
today.
give you a home? Did you have? Or was that? Some guys, they're the underdog story. They never got an opportunity at a big time program. Did any other big time programs come calling? How'd you settle on Eastern Illinois?
Yeah, honestly, I was one of those guys who always thought, I want to go Division I, and I told my dad that even when I was in 7th grade. I was like, I want to play Division I baseball. And I didn't have a whole lot of big school opportunities. I had some JUCOs in the area, some D3 schools in Wisconsin. And Eastern reached out to me, and they were the only ones to kind of really pursue me, asking me questions, calling me every week, and then finally offering me that visit. And I kind of committed on the spot, and I just felt like, once I got there, it was home for me.
All right, so if I put your video up against somebody else's in the big leagues, do you profile like a certain player? Do you model your game after anybody? Do you love watching somebody?
I mean, I love watching everybody. I don't model my game after a certain player. I kind of just try to be my own, player and take things from as many people as I can now. I love watching Jose Altuve being a smaller guy, or Mike Trout, and obviously
Javier Sanoja. Do you know Javier at all from spring training?
Yeah, Sanoja. Yeah, that guy, he's something special. I like to think I have better hands than him, but sometimes he gets to pitches that are unbelievable. Yeah.
What does it mean to win the MVP of Single A Jupiter?
It means the world to me, just because it's my first full year, and being a 20th round pick, like I said, it meant a lot just to have an accolade for something that I've done over this past season. And I know going in the next year, I don't want to look in the past, but today we're gonna look back on the season I had. I'm gonna embrace it and be proud of what I did, and just try to recreate that next year.
You doing anything fun in Miami? Or
No.
You got anything planned? Are you out of here after that? What's kind of the schedule here?
Yeah, nothing yet. I'm gonna
a good date night location for dinner, and it is a 4:10 game, so this is when you got to go. You got to take her.
So maybe something tonight. We'll do something, me and her over there, but I'll see what the other guys are doing, and maybe we'll all get together and go celebrate.
Do you like Florida as a whole? I mean, you obviously being in Eastern Illinois.
Yeah.
Weather changes, of course.
Yeah, I like it for baseball for sure. You don't got to worry about your hands getting broken off when it's freezing cold. And I know if I start in Beloit next year, I'm going to deal with that again, except it's going to be with a wood bat.
So it could be Noble Meyer, Thomas White's 98-mile-an-hour fastball in the middle of April.
Yeah, that would not be fun.
You mentioned having a little bit of a chip on your shoulder. I'll take a shot in the dark. Do you know Connor Norby at all? Have you guys ever crossed paths?
No.
Okay,
no,
I
followed him a little
I
bit,
only
though.
ask you that because we have talked a lot about him. He's a guy that plays. He's a bit smaller. He plays with an edge.
Mm-hmm.
Do you get the sense, and obviously there are first-round draft picks and guys that have already gotten a boatload of money in the organization that you're playing with. Do you get the sense there's a lot of guys in this organization on the come-up that have a chip on their shoulder, that have an edge, guys that have been doubted? Do you sense that at all?
Yeah, 100%. I think our organization's very well rounded talent-wise, and there's a lot of guys that they have extreme potential and a high ceiling that are just going through some slumps right now, or they struggled this past season. But I can see on a day-to-day basis how hard they work. One of those guys being my original roommate after the draft, Johnny Olmstead, kind of just tore it up. Now he's in Double A.
Yeah.
I told him to go hold it down for us low-round guys. So.
The catching thing. Who have you gone to seek out to get help? Well, they call you. We think you could be a really good catcher.
Mm-hmm.
Have you been watching video? Who's been there to help you the most? Maybe internally or even externally here.
Probably Coach Briones within the Marlins. He's the guy I go to asking a lot of my questions. He's worked with the catcher for the Yankees, Trevino.
Oh.
He saw him in the minors and develop to an all-star that he is. And going to early camp, I watched Joe Mack or Paul McIntosh or Pareda. I didn't get to watch a ton of Nick Fortes because he was obviously on the big league side, but I got to go work with guys who had big league time, and I got to watch them and ask them and see how they go about their business. And as far as big league guys, I like to watch Gabriel Moreno for catch and throw. He's got a bazooka, and then like Adley Rutschman for just the way he commands the game and controls it.
Yeah.
What's it like calling a game? I mean, what's been, I guess, before that, like the learning curve of the position and learning all the ins and outs of being a catcher?
Yeah, it's a little different, looking at charts and stuff from the catcher perspective. But being a pitcher for 5 years in college, I kind of knew how to attack guys and how to tunnel pitches, although I didn't have the command that some guys that here have.
Yeah.
I was a little wild, but I knew.
Were you a guy that read swings and stuff like that? Like
Yeah.
as a pitcher? I mean, what
Yeah.
kind of guy? What kind of pitcher were you?
Yeah, I read swings 100%. I didn't have elite stuff, but I knew how to get guys out and how to get them to roll over, get a pop up when I needed
Sure.
one. So yeah, I kind of take my pitching experience and take what I'm learning on the catching side with our coaches and reading scouting reports, and then just go out into the game and try to give our pitcher as much confidence as they can to get through an outing.
It's an interesting sort of idea of having a pitcher be converted into a catcher and say this guy he's thrown multiple innings, he's made starts, he's been in a lot of different situations. I think it's pretty unique that you have that experience now behind the dish to be able to kind of navigate a lineup.
Yeah, it definitely helps me out, especially getting third time through, which is arguably the hardest.
Sure.
Just trying to get pitchers to work pitches that they're not too comfortable with in as much as we can. And I always tell Thomas and Noble, just, the younger guys, just, hey, we're working one inning at a time. Don't think too far. Don't think about getting through the seventh when you're in the second. So slow it down.
I'm good on the baseball side unless you have
Yeah.
one more baseball. Go ahead.
Now that you have a couple of months, what's your biggest priority and focus on the catching side? Now that you can really settle down and focus on something in particular going into next year?
Yeah, just becoming a more well-rounded defensive catcher. This year is just a lot of adjustments and just trying new stuff and finding out what works for me, what doesn't setup-wise or move-wise on pitches on the edges. I really just want to, clean up a little bit of blocking and receiving. I've always been pretty solid catch and throw. I want to gain a little more arm strength just to help me out a little bit. But just overall, just get well-rounded.
I guess we can be done with the baseball stuff. I'd love to know what you do for fun. You hunt, you fish,
Oh, no.
build cars, Legos.
No,
what are you
no.
doing?
I'm a simple dude. I like to sit on the couch, play some video games, hang out with some guys, and watch baseball on 4 different monitors. That's all I do at home. I watch.
Watch baseball on 4 different monitors?
Yeah,
No football?
You're a junkie.
No. I watch a game on my phone, my iPad, laptop, and a TV. All different games. That's what I do.
Oh.
What
no
video
other sports?
games?
Yeah, well.
Oh, I play Apex Legends, Rocket League, Rainbow Six Siege, that stuff.
So you're not like
Your
an
girlfriend
NCAA.
must love watching you do all that stuff, right?
Oh yeah. Hey, she's in school right now. She got a lot of homework, so I don't got that.
You and the fellas watching baseball and playing Apex League.
Yeah, I got my degree, so I don't got to worry about homework. No
And
more.
what?
Exercise science.
Oh, what were you going to do if this didn't work out?
Probably be a trainer or coach. Back from my travel team I played for growing up.
Oh, interesting. Were you in Williamsport last summer?
Yeah.
Did you go to Little League World Series?
No, because after the draft, I wasn't there anymore. So it started in the second half. I was there for the first half. Yeah.
That's a shame.
Yeah, I wanted to go. I got to go walk around the stadiums though. They left it all open, so I got to walk around. It's pretty cool.
What kind of music you listen to?
Just rap, really. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, nothing too crazy. Just rap, some country if we're on a road trip. That's
You
it.
like one of those guys, if I go search on YouTube, you've got like an alter alias out there? Are you a rapper in your spirit? No, we
No.
won't like find you going by somebody different online or something?
No, just baseball, video games, friends.
And rap music. and
Rap
girlfriend.
music,
I would
hanging
sneak
out
that
there.
portion of
Yeah.
the program.
Yes,
You're doing
yes,
so good,
yes.
Ryan. I don't know if I have any more questions, so I think I'm all
Interesting,
set.
dude. I like this guy. Congratulations.
appreciate it.
And we'll see you next spring in Jupiter.
All right.
Yeah.
Good luck. Have a
It's
great
coming.
offseason.
Yeah,
Thank
enjoy
you,
your
guys.
off season.
Wait, are you like top 100 in any of your video games in the world? Are you hiding something? Are you extremely good at this?
What's
or
your,
something?
what's your hidden talent, Ryan?
I don't really have no hidden talents.
You playing
I
instruments?
was top 100 in Apex Legends at one point.
Okay,
Wow.
But now my life's dedicated to baseball, so.
saying all the right
man.
things, Ryan.
Yes,
Thank you.
Thanks for the time.
Yeah, no problem.